Tuesday, 7 o'clock.
Okay, so regular meeting start with roll call on the left.
Tom Sinkwitz.
Sean Peterson.
Randy Stillwell.
I am Ray.
Call the meeting to order. Do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda?
We do not.
Next order of business, review and act on the minutes of the meeting on 6/18/24.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second? A second? Second. Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Unfinished old business. 24-14W of Gary Reardon, requesting permission to place fill, loam seed in an open review area on property located at 359 Tarbox Road. Assessors map 4, block 4, lot 4.
I did try to contact Gary today. He did not respond to me, but this is a relatively simple one. Fill was placed in the area of wetlands to level off his yard on the side of the driveway. I went out and spoke to him. He erected silt fence along the wetlands, and he loamed and seeded the area that fill was placed, and it is now mostly established. It's going through a pretty good growing season. I'd say that it's ready to be approved with the condition that the silt fence remain until the spring of next year, through the spring of next year.
Did he fill wetlands or up to wetlands?
It was just in the vicinity. It was not filling the wetlands.
And he won't do it again?
Well, yeah, he's done, so.
Do we have a site plan?
Just the aerial photo that I drew up.
Did you get the wetlands flag?
No, it's a drop off, so it's pretty evident where the wetlands are.
Steep drop off?
Not a very far drop off. It's about 3 feet, maybe 4 feet tall into the wetlands.
Any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'm not sure what the motion's going to be because the work's already done.
It's an after the fact.
Make a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
Can we just clarify that's a motion to approve?
Yes.
And are we doing this with the condition of the silt fence remaining?
I think so.
Okay, we just want to state that, just to make sure it's...
Who seconded?
I seconded it.
With the condition that the silt fence remains.
Yes.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item, 24-15W. BJan LLC requesting permission to construct a gas station convenience store with drive-through and on-site car wash within the upper review area and property located at 340 to 342 Prospect Street, Assessors Map 22, Block 88, Lot 5.
Okay, good evening for the record. My name is Greg Law. I'm a licensed land surveyor and owner at Killingly Engineering Associates with a place of business at 114 you have to look at. These are revised through to yesterday's date, 19. So this is the site, the former Rah-Rah's site. Before that, it was Lewis's greenhouse. It's on the corner of Squaw Rock Road, Prospect Street. We were before this commission last May, 2023, with a similar design. We have a different applicant, different owner now, but it is going to be a similar thing. The only thing we did differently is before we were merging all of the properties together, and we had a bigger layout, a bigger building. So we've kind of compacted things a little bit, and the first property on Squaw Rock Road is staying in separate ownership. It's not being merged. We did merge the other two properties. So we're dealing with 4.1 acres of site here. And again, the building is going to be a little bit smaller. Our parking and paving is a little bit smaller than what we had approved before. Mostly, other than that, everything kind of stays the same, and I'll go over things with you. We do have a wetland that shows in the blue area here. I'm going to call that the rear portion of the site, considering Prospect Street kind of the front. You can see we have our proposed convenience store, restaurant with a drive-up service, and we have a car wash on the side of that. Those buildings are kind of kitty corner on the site. We're going to have gas pumps up front, kitty corner to the two roadways there, and we're going to have a diesel pump service in the back. We've got all the paving going around it. We are going to provide, the grading for this is going to be such that this is kind of, the building is going to be a high point. So our flow for drainage is going to be off to the corner this way, some off that way towards the road, and then some off towards the wetlands. What we did as far as drainage, and I'm going to flip to, I think, sheet number 5. Drainage is the big thing. We're not proposing to fill any wetlands. We're going to clear kind of up to them. Most of the site is clear now. I'm on page 3, but the only area of some brush that will be removed up against the wetlands is shown here and hatched on page 3. We'll put silt fence up, clear that off. And that was being proposed before. Last time we were basically up against the wetlands all the way out to Squaw Rock Road. So now we're only really dealing with probably 60% of that area up against the wetlands that we did in the last application. We will go around the side of it a little bit because we did make the treatment area for the detention area, the water quality basin. We made that a little bit bigger. So as I was stating, the water is going to, I'm going to get one more sheet. I'll be on the drainage sheet. So I'm on sheet number 5, I believe it is. Yep. And so our building is going to be the high point. We've got drainage going off that way, drainage coming to the front. The roof drainage, which is the clean water, is going to be directed into a manhole, and then that manhole is going to go to a catch basin in Prospect Street, and that flows out to the Moose River, which is across the street. So that's our clean water. We're not proposing any treatment on that. The water that flows to the rear of the building, we have an infiltration trench, which is what we had on our last design. So everything's going to be curved and direct all the water into that infiltration trench. Then from there, it's going to go into the water quality basin, which is behind it. That's where we'll deal with any impurities or anything that's in the drainage. And it's sized accordingly. And then there's going to be an overflow for that. If it ever does get too high, it will flow into the wetlands. Again, that over time will likely turn into some sort of a wetland, but that's kind of what DEP likes to see in treatment of water. The front area, which is going to drain this way, we have a couple of catch basins that will collect the water. Those catch basins are going to have a flow guard insert in them to clean it. That is detailed on sheet 5 here. So that will treat any of the items that they don't want to get into the wetlands or to the water course across the street or to the river in this case. So those catch basins will have that, so it's treated, and then it'll run out into the state system and cross and exit into the Moosuc River. I'll mention that the stage treatment system has been treated at this point. It's older, but we will be treating the runoff from here. Then the other catch basins in the front, they will flow into a storm tech system, which is going to infiltrate. It's got the first trench is the one that will do the treatment. It's all wrapped so that it will not let any sediments or things that will hold them. There's a schedule for how often that's cleaned out. It's on the last detail sheet. There's a maintenance that they keep on that. But this will allow some of the water to infiltrate into the ground. But then there is an overflow again into an existing catch basin and out to the storm drainage and crossing into the Moosuc River. So that's how we plan to take care of all of the storm drainage and treat it so that it's acceptable to the standards and guidelines that DEP sets. The other thing that we have, I'm going to go back to the site plan or the color drawing. We will be providing a fence all around the area. I think that was important last time. It's a convenience store. People tend to drop things, throw things, and we don't want them blown. It gives them a place to not just end up in the wetlands. So this will be surrounded by a fenced area, a nice privacy fence. And that's about it. I mean, we do have driveways. There's an in and a right only onto Prospect Street, and then we'll have a driveway off onto Squaw Rock Road. Again, we will be providing silt fence up against the wetlands at the time of construction, and that will remain in place until all is stabilized. And I don't think there's anything else in my notes, but I'd be glad to answer any questions that the commission may have.
Residential property is getting screwed up, that's getting fenced off.
It's already, I don't think there's a fence. We do have a fence there, yes. So that's already separated. It's in a different ownership. It's the owners. It's a cousin, I believe.
It's just getting fenced.
It'll be a fence there, yes.
Safety was here there.
So we have kind of the green light from DOT. They just wanted to see one sight line, and you're on that right now. They wanted to see the sight line looking down Prospect Street. They didn't ask for that before. They asked for it this time. That was their only comment. We sent it back to them. We have verbal, but we didn't have the final on that yet. But they agreed to all the drainage and stuff. And we exceed what they need. They just wanted to see that on the sight line.
The entrance is going to be off the square, right?
There's two entrances, so you can enter, if you look at my colored plan here, so there's one entrance off of Prospect Street, that'll be an in only, and then out, obviously, because it's a one-way at that point, so that would be out to the west, and then yes, there's an in and out on Squaw Rock Road. Relatively flat site, so there's not a whole lot of grading associated with it. Just some minute grading to get the highs and lows and pitch things towards the catch basins.
There's a little uphill towards that entrance, right?
Yeah, I believe it does. Yeah, it's ultimately mostly flat. The house, the house has been torn down in the last year, but I think it's.
I'm at the next line up. I think that's the little.
Yes, up there is steep. Yeah, the contours are steep over there, but the area that we're developing is relatively flat. Correct. Yep. I think everything flows into this wetland and ultimately comes through here, and then I believe there's a culvert under the road that collects everything right here, and then it goes out further across, goes into that catch basin and collects out there. Discharges out there.
It's the full direction.
So the diesel pad, that'll be flowing towards the pad itself will be flat, but it will be flowing towards the water quality basin. All the pads are designed that they can hold, certainly come out of spill, and there's a specific state statute, state standard on that, a federal standard on that. A lot of times if you drive up to a gas station, you'll notice all around the pad there's little grooves. And those grooves are designed to hold a certain amount of spillage on that concrete. And obviously it's in the control, there's a specific protocol that they have to follow for any kind of spills or anything like that. So they're all usually schooled on it. That's why all of that stuff has to be seen and visual with cameras and whatnot. It's in the control of the gas station and the tenants that are on the site.
The flow for the car wash is adequate? Looks like a sharp turn.
Yeah, the traffic is, yeah, so they stop here and then they will turn and go in. And this is not the type of car wash where you have to line yourself up for the first 15 feet. It's going to be one of the car wash buildings that everything moves around. You drive into it and then the unit moves across the car. And then you drive out. So the turning radius is have to check. So it is very busy back here. We do have a bypass lane to get around everything because, yeah, there's 2 diesel fuel pumps. You've got your drive-through with the window which is going to go out, and then there's a stop sign there and everything. So kind of, it's a little tricky, but it's kind of the only way it works. And I know we'll see how that goes with planning and zoning and with the engineer that's reviewing.
Yeah, I just don't know, that's not a wetlands question.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind answering.
We have to be concerned with chemicals in that car wash, the wetlands behind it.
So that's, everything in the car wash it's got a drain in it, and then there's actually a trench drain out front, which I didn't discuss, but there is a trench drain out front for the cars leaving, and everything from there flows into an oil-water separator, which is detailed, and that's all regulated by DEP, so there's a permit that's actually required, and it has to tie into a municipal sewer system. So all of that water goes into the sewer system.
Catch basin, C and D, they flow into the green manhole,
Yes. Yeah.
you know.
And then they flow out to the state's manhole, CB number 10. Yep. And again, those manholes are designed with the flow guard insert in them, which is deep. So that gives its treatment, and that's something that's maintained on a yearly basis. It's inspected. If it needs to be cleaned out, it's cleaned out, but that'll catch any of your nuisance items that you don't want getting into the wetlands. Ultimately, it all goes into Moosup River Guard. We don't want it to be going outside. We want to meet the regulations today. So that's our treatment for those.
Reading this road is 4 feet. Below the
Yeah, there's a sump with the catch basins as well.
Did you consider going to the sanitary sewer or the car wash?
It does go to the sanitary.
Sanitary.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, everything flows into that oil-water separator, and the oil-water separator either has to discharge into a holding tank or into a municipal sewer. In this case, it'll be tied to the municipal sewer. And they're shown right here. I'm on sheet number 5. So there's a trench drain in front of it where cars will drive out, and then you can see we have our 1,000-gallon oil-water separator here, and then that all ties, and their sewer is in Squaw Rock local timeline. And again, that is an item that is regulated by DEP, and the permit is required for anybody that installs an oil-water separator. And again, those get cleaned out. They have to be pulled where they constantly empties them. They got to go through licensed companies to empty those out.
No, the plan is good from a wetlands perspective.
Make a motion to approve.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your time this evening.
Who seconded?
Mike.
Next item, 24-17W, Plainfield Industrial Holdings LLC, requesting a determination of no jurisdiction for proposed subdivision at 76 Community Ave, Assessor's Map 2P, Block 38, Lot 3.
You do have the large map beside you as well. I didn't call it big maps.
For the record, my name is Megan Miles. I'm a land use attorney at Harmony Torrance, Sandbach, Tennessee, and my office is at 195 Church Street in New Haven. My firm represents the applicant, which is Plainfield Industrial Holdings LLC. With me tonight is Tony Casisi from the applicant. As mentioned, the subject property is 76 Community Ave. It's right down the street here from Town Hall. It's a large 21-acre site that's improved with a very large, over 700,000 square foot building that consists of a brick masonry mill from circa 1911 and a large warehouse addition from the mid-60s. The applicant has filed an application with the Planning and Zoning Commission to subdivide the property into 2 lots. Specifically, it's a re-subdivision, but it's going from 1 lot to 2. The goal is to separate the warehouse improvements from the old mill improvements and create 2 separate lots. So no site work is proposed at all, no site disturbance. All that's contemplated is a pure lot division. So for that reason, we filed a request for finding no jurisdiction because there is no site disturbance. The property does have a brook through it, I believe it's called Horse Brook. There's also a pond on the property, and I think it's a fire suppression pond from when the site was very active industrial use. So there are areas on the property that would normally fall under jurisdiction, but we submit that because no site work is proposed at all, that there's no jurisdiction here over this re-subdivision. Happy to answer any further questions, but I figured I'd keep it simple. If you guys can ask me more details.
Anybody have any questions?
No existing, no ways, everything's
No,
existing, is going to stay.
everything's existing. What's contemplated is, my client is under contract to purchase what will be lot 1, which is the warehouse structure. There's a market to fully plant that warehouse building, so the goal is to warehouse that, build a warehouse. And then he has an option to purchase what will be lot 2, which is the mill building, which is a completely different lift. That's the background behind the split, and why at this time there's actually no site work contemplated. And if there is any, you'll have to come back as needed for.
So where's the split actually going to happen here?
Is it okay if I approach?
Please do.
One?
Sean, if you look at your packet, I've highlighted the split.
Oh,
Okay, so that front parking lot's staying where it is?
correct. That'd be part of the warehouse lot.
Yes. Oh, okay, the yellow line is the split.
Yep.
No work, no jurisdiction. Any motion?
Make a motion that we have no jurisdiction.
Second. Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye. Ryan, just to note, I abstain.
Next item, new business.
I'm sorry, no.
We have one agent approval.
Yes. So the agent approval was for 228 Dow Road. It is a town drainage swale. And this particular property has two culverts because two driveways. One of the culverts started collapsing, separating, and so it was emergency, well, they applied for emergency repair with a agent approval. And they are installing two 18-inch pipes under the driveway. So pretty simple design.
Where they have the flooding at
Yes.
the end of that road.
Yep.
Only one for the
Back
sidewalk.
to the warehouse.
So this is the lower culvert, the lower driveway of the property.
So who's
Not the
applying
one
to do the work?
that we walked in.
No, not the one we walked in. So the work, I'm not sure who's going to be performing it. So it was CLA that applied for the permit for them. I don't know who the contractor will be.
Okay, so the resident is applying for it,
Yes, the residents.
even though it's a town-managed drainage swale?
Correct. So the town manages the drainage swale, but any infrastructure set in the swale for a driveway is owned and maintained by the property owner.
So what would you like from us?
Nothing, it's just informational, and I made the jurisdictional ruling.
Thank you.
Next item, citizen participation.
Quick one. You're still looking for another member?
I discovered tonight that yes, we are.
So you had a resignation. She has stepped off, Ava. That should have gone to you, but unfortunately did not. I just wanted to make you aware of that. So if you know of anybody who is a Republican, because you have to fill the party seat, unfortunately you had 30 days to do so. I would have to give you via email, I'll give you the date it occurred. If you happen to know someone in the meantime, though, if you want to pass that name forward, and we can talk about that and make sure that you're all aware of who might be put up for the next meeting.
So when did she resign?
Probably about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So, we'll search together if you'd like. We'll find somebody.
Because Vice President show up.
Any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Any motion to adjourn?